Yes, friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea or around stuff that, is relevant to Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly, asking for yours.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
An amazing semi-final draw for Chelsea. Probably will meet Liverpool in the final of the Carabao Cup should we get past Middlesbrough. We're going to talk about that. Of course, the ugly head of the Super League has reared its head again. Loads of clubs are coming out with statements against the Super League. Of course, big man over at Real Madrid, Florentino Perez, has been talking about it again. Fabrizio Romano's tweeting out respective clubs' responses. Look, I'm fully against the European Super League. I know in its latest iteration, it shouldn't stop people leaving the Premier League. We'll talk about that in a moment. But clearly, loads of clubs are coming out and they are doing statements against it. Already, Romano's shared Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, all making stern statements against the European Super League. And Sky Sports have got an exclusive with Chelsea manager Mauricio Pochettino talking about January transfer plans, which of course is relevant because it's days away. Literally days away. So thanks for joining me. Do consider supporting the content if you want to. You can do so by simply liking and subscribing. And if you choose to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications icon. Alright then, so let's talk about the draw first. Of course, after Liverpool slapped up West Ham, they drew Fulham and we drew Borough. And the first leg, it's two-legged affair, which I think is kind of peculiar, but I guess I'm okay with it, is Borough away, and then we take them back to Stamford Bridge, which I'm totally happy with. I think the return leg at Stamford Bridge is perfect. It's an amazing draw. Look, no disrespect to Borough, they've got Michael Carrick there, and, it does threaten to be one of the biggest embarrassments of Chelsea's history. Well, certainly up there. But we will beat Middlesbrough. We have to. If we don't, I applaud them. And then we will do some serious soul searching. We will see how Spursy Pochettino remains with that fixture. But should we qualify, and we pretty much will do, we'll be in a cup final at Wembley and probably face Liverpool. And I said this before, I feel like Chelsea are better suited to play Liverpool than West Ham. Playing West Ham gives me terrified fears of low block and counter. David Moyes just causing us issues. But Liverpool would just be frantic, having a crack at us, and I think that suits us. It will be, we need space to play through. Well, no one's going to do that more erratically than Liverpool. And Liverpool haven't been amazing. I know they touched up West Ham, that West Ham rested a couple of key players. I think Liverpool have been good. They're in a title race, but they've sort of blagged it a little bit. I think it's a good draw. I think should they get through and they're in the final, by that final, form for respective teams may have changed. But I actually think Liverpool's a better opponent for us than West Ham. And also the fact how Liverpool will still be in a title race, they'll still be Europa League, they want to win that. They'll definitely rather win the Europa League than the Carabao Cup in terms of their emotional priorities. For us, this is everything, This even if we'll look at the FA Cup as well, but this will qualify us from the Conference League. Locks that down. See if we can push into the Europa League in terms of placement finish in the league in the Premier League. But for the moment, at least we've got some of Europe. I know some people say, I'd rather not have Europe than the Conference League. Maybe last season, but not multiple seasons out of Europe entirely. Not for me. So, let me know what you think of the draw and the Carabao Cup in the comment section below. Alright then. So let's talk about Let's talk about the European Super League. Perez has never given up that dream. He resents the fact how all the money is in the Premier League. And yeah, they're coming flooding in now. Sevilla has joined Bayern Munich, United and Atletico at time of recording to stand against the European Super League. Of course, what they're trying to do, the European Super League, they're trying to take back European football away and take the power away from UEFA and say, it will be up to the clubs to govern it, which in a way sounds good, but it's I'm sorry, it's bollocks, because this isn't just the Champions League, this is the European Cup, and for all that it means. And no, you know, like Parrish said from the Crystal Palace chairman, it's not for us to decide who is the gilded elite who can just constantly stay in this league and reap all the money and take away the jeopardy. No, it's the European Cup. It's something that you qualify for, and you know it's got history. And yeah, I just think it's nonsense. Look, UEFA aren't necessarily, well, they're definitely not the good guys in this. But Perez and his merry men trying to make a European Super League, which at the moment, in new iterations, and the government have protected the Premier League, I think. And I saw CFC Daily tweet about this on the big Chelsea Twitter account, that, you know, that as long as it's not affecting the football pyramid, I feel like eventually it would. I am just dead against it. You've got, you know, the Club World Cup. FIFA's doing this new massive Club World Cup with loads of teams. You play clubs around the world. You know, the Champions League, it's got the other competitions, the Conference League and Europa League. It doesn't need to change to make, you know, Perez happy and give him loads of money. It's bollocks. And so what's relevant to this is, what are Chelsea going to think? At time of recording, it's only Sevilla, Bayern, United and Atletico. That's at least what I'm seeing from Fabrizio Romano. I imagine he's got his phone on and he's looking for as many updates from reports. But Chelsea, what will Chelsea do? Of course, Chelsea were one of the original 6 Premier League clubs during the Super League. We were the first to informally withdraw. Remember the protests outside Stamford Bridge? But a reminder that Badadek Bali has revealed no one has an appetite for the Super League other than the clubs back in Spain. This is an article that I saw shared on Twitter X by CFCPYS, just reminding that was the stance in October 2022. So over a year ago now. But they came in and they were like, I know Todd Bowley said, they botched the Super League idea, because maybe saying, we would have liked that. This is one of our many ways to get more money out of these big European assets. But they would have seen those scenes outside their club stadium, Stamford Bridge, with Petr Cech and, you know, those iconic photos and stuff. They will know that they can't do it, especially right now with Chelsea being, you know, the Chelsea fans giving them loads of patience. I know Chelsea fans are upset with the owners, but they've still enjoyed a lot of patience from the Chelsea fans. If they come murmuring with any of this Super League chat, they will know there will be a revolt from the Chelsea fans, and you know that could be the final straw from their patience with the owners, and it might just be Bowley and Clear Lake out. So they'll have to be very, very lucid to that potentiality. F Super League. Anyway, let's talk about this exclusive with Maurizio Pochettino from Sky Sports talking about transfers. Pochettino talks Chelsea's January transfer strategy and plans to restore success to the club. It's an exclusive sit-down interview with Sky Sports. It's by Laura Hunter. I wonder if this will eventually be published as a video if they record it. But for the moment, it's an article which suits us because we get to react accordingly as we go. There are plenty of things that endear you in a face-to-face meeting with Maurizio Pochettino. The warm welcome, the calm and playful demeanour, the passion and spirit. Well, it's like hanging out with me, isn't it, guys? Yeah? The fact he can wistfully joke around with his cap turned backwards like a smiley schoolboy before snapping into serious interview mode. But what's most fascinating, to this journalist at least, is how driven and committed he is to the Chelsea project. Why is that fascinating? It's his ruddy job. However difficult the mandate, this is to be expected, you might say. And I did say. Because he's the manager, but not all leaders steer their ships with the same level of unwavering belief as Pochettino does. To be honest, this is true. Like he said, we reacted, of course, to that recent presser when he was like, we will succeed. Just, you know, say what you want. Don't care. It's going to work. Dude is confident. This is a venture that clearly means a lot to the 51-year-old. He speaks like a manager who's been part of the fabric for far longer than 6 months or 173 days. Now, of course, he's actually been in West London. In many ways, Pochettino and Chelsea are the perfect fit. A manager with a proven track record in the Premier League, one who is known for favouring and nurturing young talent, who can cope with the demands of a club with expectation and status. Arriving directly from PSG, one of the most difficult clubs in football, teaches you that much. And yes, I've said all this before, I've regurgitated the same stuff. And of course, in terms of the path of the chaotic PSG to the calming waters of Chelsea Football Club, certainly worked for Thomas Tuchel. He slam dunked the Champions League in our hands within months. Yeah, that was fun, isn't it? You want the Champions League? Yeah? Say no to the Super League. We move. Also, just quickly, who the ruddy hell wants a Super League trophy that's just been made up that means nothing when you can have the European Cup? Anyway, let's move on. But progress has been a little slower than some would have expected. Yeah, no sugar. Not least Pochettino himself. Rather than stagnant, the Argentinian describes Chelsea's development as delayed. I like that. Hella delayed. The bus got stuck in some mud or something. But he's an absolute belief that the pathway is being trodden is the right one for future success. Well, I'm pleased to hear that. He said this, quote, "We wanted today to be in a different position on the table. Of course, I cannot say false," Pochettino began to explain. Sitting forward in his chair, like this, I'm supposing, to emphasise his cap turned to its regulation setting. Oh, okay, hold on. There you go. Obey. I'm doing a Pochettino here. He goes on and says, "I have to be really honest and say I'm upset. Not frustrated because we knew it was going to be tough, but the circumstances have not been kind." True. That's true. Injuries make us a little bit delayed and not progress in the way we wanted to. That is why we are late in our way to achieve things. I have no doubt we are going to be late. Oh no. Wait, what? This is like second language. That's what I should say when you're calling up for work. Yeah, and you're supposed to be in the office. Where are you? I have no doubt that I'm going to be late. What? Yeah, really assertive. But we are going to perform and win games. There you go. There's that positivity. And be in the position we deserve to be. Oh, I hope so. But my issue is, Poch, I don't know where we deserve to be, bro. That's my issue. The Chelsea blueprint perhaps is a little muddled and confusing to those outside the club, and us around it as well. It's understood with complete clarity to those inside it. Well, I'm glad someone friggin' understands it. Pochettino assures in the next sentence. And the size of the task does not daunt him, rather it excites, given the immense amount of talent within the playing squad, he says. Of course, the objective is to take all the points we play. All the points. Maybe for people outside, they create some doubt, but not for us. This was my expectation all along. I'm glad you saw this coming. I want to win. We need to keep winning and taking points. Yes, we want to be higher in the table, but we cannot achieve this if we don't earn it. We have to deserve. There you go. I'm aligning with you on that, Pochi. We have to be more competitive. We showed a great way to compete against Sheffield United, and now we have to keep moving in the same direction. The date of this particular sit-down at Chelsea's Cobham training base, adjacent to the immaculately lawned pitches, happened to coincide with Pochettino's more fruitful weeks in charge. As acknowledged, winning streaks are yet to be featured as part of the former Tottenham manager's reign, but two such occurrences in the space of 3 short days have provided a welcome reprieve. Could this be a turning point for Poch? 3 points against Sheffield last week, followed up by a thrilling penalty shootout triumph over Newcastle on Tuesday, and thus the mood has shifted, if temporarily. Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat in pursuit of silverware is certainly one way to garner support from the long-term cause. Tension, drama, excitement, all packaged with a positive outcome. Not good for our blood pressure though. Can't we just consistently win with no jeopardy? Like Man City generally do. That's what I'd like to order, so we all live longer. Poch says this: the most important thing in football is to believe in the end. We kept believing. Yeah, so yeah. We know the penalties are a lottery, but of course talent and quality matter. Our objective before the game was to go through, and now we're in the semi-final. When you see the whole squad, players that weren't involved or injured, they wanted to share in their happiness in the middle of the pitch. We're going to build a very good team that can compete. Yeah, I actually think there's a good feel-good factor there, to be honest. So Pochettino also gave a long-awaited debut, of course, for Christopher Nkunku. He came on for Nico Jackson. The manager reiterated the need not to lump too much expectation too soon on the 26-year-old's shoulders. Nkunku, of course, but admits he has high hopes for Nkunku, who who dispatched an emphatic penalty when we won. He says this, Poch, we need to be fair. We can't get too excited because we cannot put too much pressure on him. He needs to find himself. Now, Sky Sports shows a graphic here of the biggest expected goal underperformers this season. Interestingly, Man United's at the top. Brentford's second and Chelsea are close behind them in third place. So 6 goals we've underperformed, and good teams overperform maybe 6 goals. So that could be like a 12-goal swing, you know. Pochettino speaks about Nkunku. He says he came from Germany. He's a player that's been out for like 5 months. He needs to find himself in this league. That's why I don't want to put pressure on him. If we want to help him, we cannot expect his first touch is going to be a goal. We hope, but I stress patience. As it happened, Nkunku enjoyed 12... he did get a few touches of the ball, and if it wasn't for a Raheem Sterling overcooked pass, he could have even had a goal. Perhaps Chelsea don't need to pursue signings in January after all. But what does Pochettino think? So this is what we want to hear. Poch says this. He says, the sporting directors and us, we're always talking and assessing. If we need to do something, we'll be ready. The pressure is always to bring young talent. That's interesting. So he says, what we hear from the journalists that, we've got this project 2030, 25 and under, young talent. So you heard it from the horse's mouth here. The pressure is always to bring young talent, and we have different types of target with experience, without experience, some younger than others, and that's what it takes to provide the team with what it needs. But I guess a lot of Chelsea fans have been calling out for just a couple of experienced and senior players. We need to be open to describing the situation. Always communication is really good with the owners. That's good. At least they're not absent owners, that they're talking a lot. We're sharing everything. That is important, I'd say. It's about sharing ideas. We need each other to express our vision in a way that's a positive statement for the club. If we need to add, we'll do it together in a way that's best decision for the club. That's good, because I kind of feel like a lot of the players have just been given to Pochettino, like, make it work! Young talent! Put them together and win us the Prem, which is unrealistic and unhelpful. Although, over time, they'll be coached and get better. I also think the young, naive players will just get better because they'll settle down. And I keep saying this, but just grow up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So this was a coy answer from Pochettino. He wants to build a successful squad. In his mould, they are among the most creative sides in the league this term. Tuesday night's Newcastle conquest certainly felt like a uniting moment. Of course, nothing has been won, far from it, but plenty has been gained. Trust? Confidence? Conviction? Perhaps all three. I don't know. I feel like we've had a few turning points already this season. Pochettino's plan is coming together slowly but surely, and now it's the Argentines' job to turn the big fist pumps, shouts of "Vamos!" and adulation from Stamford Bridge into something more tangible. Well, look, I'll say 2 games, it's double-legged. 3 games away from a trophy in the Cup, and Chelsea are massive favourites to get through past Middlesbrough. So you could say, really, it's a final against Liverpool or Fulham. Fulham derby, imagine that in a final. But yeah, I do think Chelsea will do business in January. Everyone's saying that. Of course, if you subscribe, make sure you turn on the bell, because I will be following any and all stories regarding the January transfer window as it pops off over this festive winter period and beyond into January. But let me know what you think about the Pochettino project at the moment and his words there. And do you think we've turned a corner? I'll be very interested, as always, to read your comments. I've just refreshed Romano's page. No more club statements as of yet of the Super League, but we will watch that with great interest. So for the moment, thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully see you guys back here very soon. I have uploaded again on the second channel, Football Yannick, so you're welcome to go and support that and check out the non-Chelsea related football content on there. And speaking of Football Yannick, that's my Instagram handle. So do drop me a follow if you want to. Alright, take care of yourselves. Peace.